Throughout the trip to California, we had many challenges that we faced. First of all, we lost Grandma and Grandpa Jode, which was very difficult for me, especially when Grandma died. I had to stay strong for the family to get to California. We also had our oldest son, Noah, abandon the family, which was also very hard. Then when we finally got to California, we faced challenges much harder, and it just made life much more difficult. We had to go to camps where there were many other poor families that did not have food as well. I had to make some difficult choices, and we also had a hard time finding jobs and food. And then we had an incident where Connie, Rosa Sharon's husband, my daughter's husband, left us because he did not feel secure and he was very immature and left. Then that was very hard for my daughter and impacted her in a very bad way, and we needed him. He was much help to our family. But we had to go forward and keep going. Then some other difficulties we had were some of the camps that we worked in were horrible. We got treated very bad. And one of my hardest things I had to do was tell my son, Tom Joe, that he had to leave before he got caught. And it's always hard for a mother to say goodbye to his son. And that was maybe one of the hardest things I had to face during this trip. And I had much trouble throughout the whole journey because my husband was making poor decisions, unsuccessful decisions, and I had to take leadership along with my son Tom. And I had to confront my husband as well and let him know that he was not doing a good job of taking care of the family. But thankfully, me and my son Tom stepped in and helped the family keep going.
The travel was filled with a lot of challenges, but I was happy that my son Tom was able to join us and our family on the trip to California. But before we left on the trip, our family had to work as cotton pickers, and then we had to sell most of our belongings. That way we could afford to buy a car and make the travel to California easier. I decided to leave with the Jode family because on the way to California I really wanted to help families out. And while we were in California, I assaulted a police officer, but only to save Tom out, and I was separated from the Jodes for a while. The next time I saw Tom Jode, I was living with a group of men who along with me wanted to fight for their rights, but my life was cut short, so I wasn't able to fight for all the rights.
Do you think moving to California had a positive or negative effect on you?
I believe that moving to California did have a positive effect on me and my family because I was able to become more than what I was before. Before I was I didn't really know that much about the world, and then I sort of matured throughout the journey. So then I have taken responsibility and leadership of my family. And
this trip did not have a positive effect on us. My goal from the very beginning was to keep my family together, but slowly our family got smaller, and I did not like being separated from my family members.
The trip brought negative effects to my life because it wore me down. The trip was way too challenging for my body, and it made me lose my leader position in the family. I feel like this trip had an overall positive effect on me because I got to see how landowners have a complete control politically. I also got to see how hard it was for people finding jobs. I think it also turned me into a man because it made me want to fight for more people's rights, but unfortunately I wasn't able to fight for all the rights I wanted.
The book we read was The Grapes of Wrath, written by John Steinbeck. The book we The book we read. I can't do it.
I feel like this trip had a positive effect. Why not? I feel like this trip had a positive effect on my life because I got to see how landowners have put Emily.